Good morning everyone. Mabilis ang basa ng ating KGB Bible guys. Pagkasabayan ako. Daily reading plan. Today is 24 July 2022. Day 265 na natin. Zechariah chapter 8 up to 14. Zechariah chapter 8, basa. Again the word of the Lord of hosts came to me, saying, Thus said the Lord of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus said the Lord, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called the city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. Thus said the Lord of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age, and the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Thus said the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people, in this day should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, said the Lord of hosts. Thus said the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God in truth and in righteousness. Thus said the Lord of hosts, Let your hands be strong, ye that hear in these days these words by the mouth of the prophets, which were in the day of the foundation of the house of the Lord of hosts was laid, that the temple might be built. Verse 10, For before these days there was no hire for man, nor any hire for beast, neither was there any peace to him, and went out or came in because of the affliction. For I set all men every one against his neighbor, but now I will not be unto the residue of this people, as in the former days, said the Lord of hosts. For the seed shall be prosperous, the vine shall give her fruit, and the ground shall give her increase, and the heavens shall give their dew. And I will cause the remnant of this people to possess all these things. And it shall come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen of the house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. Verse 14, For thus said the Lord of hosts, as I thought to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath, said the Lord of hosts, and I repented not. So again have I thought in these days to do well unto Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Fear ye not. These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath. For all these are things that I hate, said the Lord. And the word of the Lord of hosts came unto me, saying, Thus said the Lord of hosts, the fast of the 4th month, and the fast of the 5th, and the fast of the 7th, and the fast of the 10th shall be to the house of Judah joy and gladness and cheerful peace. Therefore, love the truth and peace. Verse 20 tayo guys. Up. Verse 20. Madali kasi yung lalangunan ko. Ganyan lang, pagising sa umaga, inom lang tubig guys. Verse 20. Thus said the Lord of hosts, It shall yet come to pass that there shall come people. Pakisabayan ako please. Verse 20 ulit tayo. Thus said the Lord of hosts, It shall yet come to pass that there shall come people, and the inhabitants of many cities. And the inhabitants of one city shall go to another, saying, Let us go speedily to pray before the Lord, and to seek the Lord of hosts. I will go also. Yea, many people and a strong nation shall come to seek the Lord of hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before the Lord. Thus said the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, We will go with you, for we have heard that God is with you. Zechariah chapter 9. The pardon of the word of the Lord in the land of Hadrach and Damascus shall be the rest thereof, when the eyes of man as of all the tribes of Israel shall be toward the Lord. And Hamath also shall border thereby, Tyrus and Zidon, though it be very wise. And Tyrus did build herself a stronghold, and heap up silver as the dust, and fine gold as the mire of the streets. Behold, the Lord he will cast her out, and he will smite her power in the sea, and she shall be devoured with fire. Ashkelon shall see it, and Gaza also shall see it, and be very sorrowful, and Ekron, for her expectation shall be ashamed. And the king shall perish from Gaza, and Ashkelon shall not be inhabited. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines, and I will take away his blood out of his mouth, and his abominations from between his teeth. But he that remaineth, even he shall be for our God, and he shall be as a governor in Judah, and Ekron as a Jebusite. Verse 8. And I will encamp about mine house because of the army, because of him that passeth by, and because of him that returneth, and no oppressor shall pass through them any more. For now have I seen me with mine eyes. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem, behold thy king cometh, and today he is just, and having salvation, lowly, and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt, the foal of an ass. And I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall speak peace unto the heathen, and his dominion shall be from sea even to sea, and from river even to the ends of the earth. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope, even today, though I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up the sons of Zion, against the sons of Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. Verse 14. And the Lord shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning, and the Lord God shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with whirlwinds of the south, and the Lord of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with sling stones, and they shall drink and make a noise as strong wine, and they shall be filled. Verse 15 guys ulit. The Lord of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with the sling stones, and they shall drink and make a noise as true wine, and they shall be filled like bowls, and as the corners of the altar. Verse 16. And the Lord their God shall save them in that day, as the flock of his people, for they shall be as the stones of a crown lifted up, as an ensign upon his land. For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty! Corn shall make the young men cheerful, and new wine the maids. Zechariah chapter 10. As ye of the Lord reign in the time of the latter rain, so the Lord shall make bright clouds, and give them showers of rain to every one grass in the field. For the idols have spoken vanity, and the diviners have seen a lie, and have told false dreams. They comfort in vain, therefore they went their way as a flock. They were troubled, because there was no shepherd. Verse 3. Mine anger was kindled against the shepherds, and I punished the goats. For the Lord of hosts had visited his flock, the house of Judah, and had made them as his godly horse in the battle. out of him came forth the corner, out of him the nail, out of him the battle bow, out of him every oppressor together. And they shall be as mighty men which tread down their enemies, and the mighty of the streets in the battle, and they shall fight, because the Lord is with him, and the riders on horses shall be confounded. And I will strengthen the house of Judah, and I will save the house of Joseph, and I will bring them again to place them. For I have mercy upon them, and they shall be as though I had not cast them off, for I am the Lord their God, and will hear them. And they of Ephraim shall be like a mighty man, and their heart shall rejoice as through wine. Yea, their children shall see it, and be glad, their heart shall rejoice in the Lord. I will hiss for them, and gather them, for I have redeemed them, and they shall increase as they have increased. And I will sow them among the people, and they shall remember me in far countries, and they shall live with their children, and turn again. I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt, and gather them out of Assyria, and I will bring them in the land of Gilead and Lebanon, and place shall not be found for them. Verse 11, and they shall pass through the sea with affliction, and it shall smell the waves in the sea, and all the deeps of rivers shall dry up, and the pride of Assyria shall be brought down, and the sick tree of Egypt shall depart away. And I will strengthen them in the Lord, and they shall walk up and down in his name, saith the Lord. Zechariah chapter 11. Open thy doors, O Lebanon, that the fire may devour thy cedars. Howl, fair tree, for the cedar is fallen, because the mighty are spoiled. Howl, O ye oaks of Bashan, for the forest of the vintage is come down. There is a voice of the howling of the shepherds, for their glory is spoiled, a voice for the roaring of young lions, for the pride of Jordan is spoiled. Thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell, they say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. For I will no more pity the inhabitants of the land, said the Lord, but lo, I will deliver the men, every one into his neighbor's hand, and into the hand of his king, and they shall smite the land, and out of their hand I will not deliver them. Pakisabayan ako guys, kasi kung mabilis ako, at least makikita nyo sa Bible nyo. Kayo mismo makakabasa. Verse 7, and I will feed the flock of slaughter, even ye of four of the flock, and I took unto me two staves, the one I called beauty, and the other I called buds, and I fed the flock. 3 shepherds also I cut off in 1 month, and my soul loathed them, and their soul also abhorred me. Then said I will not feed you, that dieth, let it die, and that is to be cut off, let it be cut off, and let the rest eat, every one the flesh of another. And I took my staff, even beauty, and cut us asunder, and I might break my covenant which I had made with all the people, and it was broken in that day. And so the poor of the flock that waited upon me knew that it was the word of the Lord. And I said unto them, If ye think good, give me my price, and if not, forbear. So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver. And the Lord said, nung araw guys na pambayad ko the silver, gold, ganyan. Yung pera natin, wala pa yan nung araw. Verse 13, and the Lord said unto me, Cast it unto the potter. Pawis na. Mainit kasi dito guys. Ulit tayo. Saan na ba tayo? Verse 30. And the Lord said unto me, Cast it unto the potter, a goodly price that I was raised at of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver, and cast them to the potter in the house of the Lord. Then I cut asunder mine other stuff, even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. And the Lord said unto me, Take unto thee the instruments of a foolish shepherd, for lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land which shall not visit those that be cut off, neither shall seek the young one, nor hell that is broken, nor feed that standeth still, but he shall eat the flesh of the fat, and tear their clothes in pieces. Woe to the idol shepherd that leaveth the flock! The sword shall be upon his arm, and upon his right eye. His arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. Zechariah chapter 12. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel said the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. For our people, all that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. In that day, said the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness, and I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and I will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength, and the Lord of hosts their God. Verse 6. In that day I will make the governors of Judah like an heart of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a ship. And they shall devour all the people round about on the right hand and on the left, and Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. Verse 7. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah before Verse 7. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations. Ano ko po, wag naman Lord. Okay, verse 9. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is bitterness for his firstborn. Verse 11. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadadrimmon in the valley of Megiddon, and the land Megiddon. And the land shall mourn every family apart, the family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart, the family of Shimei apart, and the family of Shimei apart, and their wives apart, all the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart. Zechariah chapter 13. In that day there shall be a fountain opened to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day that Verse 2 guys. And it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land. And it shall come to pass that when he shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of the Lord. And his father and his mother that begat him shall trust in truth when he prophesieth. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophet shall be ashamed every one of his vision when he hath prophesied, neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive, but he shall say, I am no prophet, I am an husbandman, for man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. And one shall say unto him, What are these wounds in thine hands? Then he shall answer, Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, said the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd and the sheep, shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined. I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, The Lord is my God. Hanggang Zechariah chapter 14 tayo guys, diba? Wait lang ha, daily reading plan. Kasi nasa 13 na tayo. Okay, hanggang 14. Last chapter guys, Zechariah chapter 14. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and the spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Okay, verse 3, Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle, and his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. Guys, maliliit masyado yung kaya tingnan nyo talaga yung kung saan kayo na huling nagbasa. Ako nga nalilito na. Okay, ulit ko yung verse 4 ha. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Ye shall flee like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah king of Judah. And Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord, not day nor night. But it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. And it shall be in that day the living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be, and the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name one. All the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up, and inhabited in her place, from Benjamin's gate, and to the place of the first gate, and to the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananel, unto the king's wine presses. And men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouths. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. And so shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and of all the beasts that shall be in this days as this plague. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left, all the nations which came against Jerusalem, shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the feast of tabernacles. And it shall be thus And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the feast of the tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all the nations that come not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. Verse 20, in that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto the Lord. And the pots of the Lord's house shall be like the walls before the altar. Yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of hosts, and all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them and seated therein, and in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. Okay guys, hanggang chapter 14 lang tayo. Pawis na, punas muna tayo pause. Bye everyone, God bless.